Hello friends and welcome to lesson number 10. This is the first video of this lesson and we are going to start a new topic in this. We will study about the manufacturing sector in our country in this particular lesson. This is important for the GS3 paper friends. As you know, one of the topics in GS3 is about manufacturing sector, industrial policy, liberalization, and what are the various issues with respect to manufacturing sector. So this is a very frequent theme also in the examination, and we are going to start this from this video. So this first video will be dedicated to explaining to you about the overall overview of the manufacturing sector in our country. Will not go into a lot of details because that is not expected, but we'll see what is manufacturing sector, what does it cover, what are some of the issues, right, and why we have not been able to grow when it comes to manufacturing sector. So we'll cover this in this particular lesson. Slowly we'll also see the effect of liberalization on our industries, then various industrial policies, and so many different aspects related to this. Okay, so let us start. First of all, let us look at the definition and scope of this sector. So what is the meaning of manufacturing sector basically? So manufacturing sector in India encompasses activities that involve the transformation of raw materials into finished or semi-finished goods through mechanical, physical or chemical processes. So this is a very basic definition that you must understand कि manufacturing is basically converting raw materials into some finished product, right? So this is what the manufacturing is. So there can be physical process, there can be mechanical process, there can be chemical process. It can be through labor, manpower, it can be through machinery, right? So it can be through anything, but anything which converts raw material into some finished or semi-finished goods, that is called manufacturing. And it is a critical pillar of the secondary sector, contributing to industrialization and economic diversification. So most of our people are dependent on agriculture, we know that. So it is important for economic diversification point of view also. Then what is the example of this? Food processing, beverages, textiles, apparels, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, metals and machinery, other goods like furniture, jewelry, tobacco products, etc. All these are part of manufacturing sector, and this sector is bifurcated into organized manufacturing and unorganized manufacturing, right? So that again we'll see what is the meaning of organized and unorganized. So organized manufacturing is basically a unit, a factory where 10 plus workers are working using power, meaning where electricity is used, or 20 plus without power. Okay, so where electricity is not used. Nowadays there is no such unit where there is no electricity, so this is an old definition actually, but this is how we formally define an organized sector, and it is registered under the Factories Act of 1948. It accounts for 20 to 25% of the total manufacturing output. So organized manufacturing is only about 20 to 25% of the total manufacturing output, not the total GDP of the manufacturing output. Employs about 15 to 18 million workers and is capital intensive, meaning there are more machinery than labor. Example, large auto plants in Chennai. So automobile sector, different electronics manufacturing, etc. So these are capital intensive, meaning they use more machinery than labor. So that is the meaning. Then what is the meaning of unorganized manufacturing? Unorganized manufacturing are informal units like household enterprises, small workshops. Example, khadi weaving, artisan clusters. It dominates with 75 to 80% of units, contributes about 30 to 40% of output, and employs 40 to 50 million people. Okay, so 4 to 5 crore people are employed in this particular sector, mostly self-employed or casual labor, meaning the small units, right? They do small production like that. And data from Annual Survey of Industries, that is ASI of 2021-22, shows that unorganized units face challenges like credit access and technology gaps. So these are some of the issues because they are unorganized, they are informal, so they don't get bank loans easily, and they are it is very difficult for them to adopt the technology and machinery also, because they don't have that much capital. Note that the scope excludes construction and mining, focusing on value addition only. So when we talk about manufacturing sector, we don't include construction sector and mining sector in this. Okay, so although this may be part of the secondary sector, but we don't really consider these into manufacturing when we talk about manufacturing. Now let us look at some of the key indicators and current status. According to World Bank data, manufacturing's value added share in GDP in India fell to 12.53% in 2024 from 13.02% in 2023. So share in manufacturing, share of manufacturing in our GDP in terms of value added has decreased actually from 2023 to 2024. India Brand Equity Foundation, so IBEF, this is a famous organization which does all this data collection and estimates. So they estimate manufacturing contributes about 16 to 17% of our GDP and employs over 27 million workers. Okay, so this is what they say. So obviously they talk about the organized sectors here, also include some estimates for the unorganized sectors. So this is their estimate. Okay, this is not the true figure, this is just an estimate. In financial year 23-24, manufacturing gross value added rose 11.9% to 24.6 lakh crore from the previous year. So these are just some of the data that you need to keep in mind. And India's manufacturing share globally remains low. So when we talk about the entire global manufacturing, our share is very, very low there. It is just about 1.8% of the global manufacturing exports in 2024, though we have rising ambitions that we will become the factory of the world. That is what we say. China has a huge manufacturing share, but we have only 1.8%. Now, what is the structural role and significance of manufacturing in the economy? Manufacturing is crucial for employment generation, for value addition, exports, and for linking primary sector to the tertiary sector. So manufacturing is like the connecting link between the primary sector, which is agriculture, to the tertiary sector also, and these two sectors depend on the manufacturing sector. So it is an important link in the economy. It also generates employment, also helps export, etc. So export meaning we learn the foreign exchange also. Because agricultural growth alone cannot absorb large number of youth, so we have a lot of people in the rural areas who are unemployed. Manufacturing offers semi-skilled job opportunities, so non-farm jobs can be created through manufacturing sector. It fosters industrial clusters, supply chain linkage, that is backward linkage like raw material and components from agriculture or other primary activities, and forward linkages also like finished goods, exports. So it has very, very high forward and backward linkages, right? So this we must keep in mind. All this is basic. Okay, you just try to understand what is the importance of manufacturing, what is its share currently. So you just remember 11 to 12% currently. This is the rough estimate, how much people it employs and how we can improve it. So that is what for this exam we need to understand. As per again the India Brand Equity Foundation, India is now moving towards higher technological depth. So we are adopting technology more. In electronics manufacturing, domestic value addition rose from about 30% to 70%, and the target is to reach up to 90% by financial year 2027. Now, what is the meaning of this? The value added rose from 30% to 70%, meaning value addition means what? For example, this is one component of electronics. For example, we bring it from say Taiwan, then we import it to India, then we do some value addition, meaning we do some procedure here, and then finally we make a finished product. Say television is prepared. So this is a TV, some part of the TV parts, then we bring it to India, then we do some value addition, we do some process, and then we do the final TV. So initially this value addition, that we were adding value to this, was only 30% now, but now we have increased it to 70%. And our target is to increase it to 90%. So that what maximum of the value that is generated will be generated in our country. So that is what we are moving ahead. Government policy aims to push manufacturing share from current 16 to 17% to 25% of GDP in the coming year. So this has been the target of the Make in India also. Okay, so this has been the primary target there also. Now let us look at the location and sectoral highlights. Major manufacturing states are Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, UP, Karnataka. UP is an emerging one now. Strong infrastructure, ports, skilled laborers. This is the reason why it is present in these states. UP is emerging as a manufacturing backbone. For example, smartphone manufacturing, textile manufacturing. What are the key sectors in India? Automotive, engineering goods, pharma, chemicals, consumer durables, electronics. We have seen strong growth in electronics exports. About 38.6 billion US dollars in financial year 2025. So this is the current situation that we must keep in mind. And what are the emerging focus? The emerging focus is that we are getting into clean tech manufacturing like wind turbines, electrolyzers, localization for global supply chains. Okay, so this is what we are paying attention to right now. Now, what are the recent trends, opportunities and challenges? Let us look at that. Opportunities we have like global supply chain realignment. Companies are diversifying from China because the labor cost is increasing in China. It gives India an opportunity to enter. Then government's PLI scheme, production linked incentive scheme, Make in India infrastructure investment. So these are some of the opportunities where we have a lot of incentives to attract investments here. Increase in capacity utilization from 77.7% in Q4 of FY 2025 indicates latent potential. Okay, so we need to increase our capacity utilization. We have more capacity to produce, but we are only utilizing about 77%. So we need to increase our capacity utilization. What are the challenges? The share of manufacturing in GDP has not grown as planned. We had planned that it should become 25%. May even be falling slightly from 17% historically to 12 to 17%. Employment growth is weak, so we are kind of seeing the jobless manufacturing growth, not jobless but less job generation. Relative to scale of ambition, job creation in manufacturing remains a weakness because we are getting more into capital intensive manufacturing or technology intensive manufacturing, more into automation. Capacity utilization remains uneven across subsectors, so we are not utilizing our capacity completely as we have seen here, only about 77%. Unorganized manufacturing remains large and under monitored. These are some of the issues that we have listed here, friends, so that during your answer writing also these points will come in handy to you when you critically analyze the manufacturing sector of our country. Compared with China, South Korea, etc., India still lags in scale, productivity, value chain integration, and regulatory burdens are there. Land and infrastructure constraints are there. So land acquisition is a major problem. Infrastructure constraints are there. We'll see infrastructure sector in the subsequent video. Labor rigidities continue to hamper growth as flagged by the analysts, but now we have brought the new labor code, about which also we will study in the upcoming videos. So how they help the labor sector also. So we are trying to bring in some reforms. These reforms have started since 1991, you must be knowing, and slowly we are bringing in first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation reforms. But completely it has not helped the manufacturing sector. It has not grown what we had expected. What are the strategic implications for India's growth agenda of the manufacturing sector? So in order to move towards manufacturing-led growth, India must raise share of manufacturing in GDP, enhance export capacity and create jobs. What are the linkages? Manufacturing growth will boost MSMEs, component suppliers, logistics and service sectors. There is a multiplier effect on the economy. right? So if manufacturing growth, then obviously your transportation will grow, your other services will grow, cleaning, sanitation, urban services, etc. will all demand will also rise. Jobs will be generated. The agriculture sector will also be benefited. Latent unemployment problem will also be solved. So there are various forward and backward linkages of the manufacturing sector. Policies must emphasize labor-intensive subsectors, upskilling of the people, technology absorption, infrastructure, ease of doing business, and global competitiveness. So these are some of the areas where we need to focus upon. So you can use this in your way forward or conclusion part of your answer wherever such question comes. And changing India's manufacturing path has major implications for employment generation, structural transformation, that is moving labor labor from agriculture to industry or services, and export diversification also, and global economic weight. So basically we want to become globally important in manufacturing, just like China has become. So global economic weight will also get. So this is the overview of manufacturing sector. From the next video, we'll start studying about how various policies, various decisions, like starting from 1991 reforms, how they have affected the industries in our country, how we have generated jobs, where we have failed, and what are the opportunities, what more can be done. We'll study that in deep in this particular lesson. So thank you very much. We'll see you in the next video.